All right, let's get to the AFC South. First team here on the list, we got the Houston Texans, who last year were 10-7. The over/under is 9.5. As you guys know, I'm a big believer in CJ Stroud. So this is easy for me. I'm taking the over. This is very easy. They added more weapons to him too. On Stephon Diggs on top of that too. Also, easy over. I love the culture they're changing now with D'Amico Ryans as head coach. Over. Win the South. Spoiler alert. Go ahead, Zach.
You said it right there. Look, they're gonna win the South, and for someone to win the South, you gotta have 10 wins, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, give me the over. It's too obvious.
Yep, give me the over. I mean, you had the QB coach combo there, D'Amico Ryan, CJ Stroud. I don't think they miss a beat. I think Joe Mixon's super overrated pickup, but the rest of the team's pretty solid. I think Daniil Hunter being alongside Mark Anderson is going to be crazy. So I see that defense taking another step up in D'Amico Ryan's system. I don't think they're going to blow that over-under out of the water. I think that division as a whole took a big step up. Like the entire division, I feel like, are all going to do better this year. So that's the only reason why I don't think this is like a slam dunk by any means. But I think 10-7, 11-6 is possible. But I don't see them head and shoulders above the rest of the division. But they're good. They're going to win it. But they're not like, oh my God, they're definitely going to do it. Like they're one injury away. Like CJ Stroud gets hurt, they're done. Like.
Yeah, of course. It's just on a bus. So I agree with that one. All right, next one here. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who last year were 9-8. The over/under number is 8.5 wins. Like the Eagles last year, late slump. Of course, they actually missed the playoffs though as a result. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence feels like a letdown. Been saying that for the last year or two. Like he's a good quarterback. Should be a top 10 guy. He's probably on the fringe of that, but.
You know what I remember happening last year at this time when we did this? You had this sneaky idea that they would be the number 1 seed in the AFC. All you talked about was their schedule. You're like, oh, they could win 13 games.
The schedule?
So think about that. Could go from 13 games to Vegas is like over under 8.5.
They missed their under.
If you have that,
they missed their over under last year pretty bad.
They were 10.5 last year. I think it was 10. No, 9.5 last year. 9.5 last year.
All that tells me is you don't have a franchise quarterback.
Well, they paid him already as a franchise quarterback, so I don't know.
Yeah.
He's up there. Him, Jordan Love, Joe Burrow, highest paid dudes in the league.
Of those three, how do you have them ranked?
Who's that with the three? Him, Burrow, who?
And Love.
Burrow, Love, and Lawrence.
I'll go Burrow, Lawrence, Love, but Lawrence and Love can change this year. I need a bigger sample of Love.
Yeah,
bigger sample.
Not me.
But you have a pretty big sample of Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Now
and the only reason he's got a playoff in is because of an epic collapse.
Because Brandon
that he created himself and Brandon Staley, of course, yeah.
So
that being said, I'm gonna go over. They got a nice roster, man. They just win 9 games. They fell apart last year, a lot of injuries late in the year. I'll go over still.
No, I agree. I'll go over. It's 9.5.
8.5 was 9.
8.5, yeah. So taking 9.
Yeah, 9.8.
This is a tricky one for me. This was my hardest one for me out of every team in the NFL because they actually upgraded his weapons. They went and signed Gabe Davis. They went and drafted Brian Thomas because they had a lot of drops last year. So they kind of overhauled the wide receiver room for Trevor Lawrence. Doug Peterson's still there. This is a real big year for them. Like, if Trevor Lawrence does not get to the over, now all of a sudden he goes from not just a generational talent. He's fringing on like number 1 overall draft pick, like bust status.
No, not like that.
Because as a number 1 overall draft pick, you can't just be a starter in the NFL as number 1 overall draft pick. When you're number 1 overall, you have to be a perennial Pro Bowler. And I just don't think he's ever going to get to that point if he doesn't prove it this year. Because like Evan Ingram came in and balled out. You gave Josh Allen all that money on defense. Like, this is really, really. I'm gonna go over, but this one's really hard for me. I think this is like one that they clinch up like week 18.
So if he were to struggle, he's not worried about losing his job. He can struggle. He's still gonna get his money, and they'll probably give him another contract. But Doug Peterson, he'll either be out or be on the hot seat for the 2025 season.
Don't.
And second, there's no way he can be seen as a number 1 pick bust when you have Bryce Young in the league.
This guy. Okay, so after Urban Meyer was the first year, were you going to blame Urban Meyer for that, right? No one blames Trevor Lawrence for that first year debacle. That
was his fault. Urban Meyer's fault.
Yeah. So you can say the same thing about Bryce Young.
Number 1 generational talent, you can survive Urban Meyer kicking a kicker.
They went 2-14, Zach. Their team.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he's a generational talent, but I also don't think he's going to ever be considered a bust because there are other number 1 draft picks and number 2 overall draft picks who are complete trash.
Oh yeah, like
you also talked to the guy, Chris, that said that they should have drafted Justin Fields instead of Trevor Lawrence. So
no,
I did. Yeah, I
never said that.
No, Zach did.
I said Urban Meyer with a running quarterback.
No one's calling him Jamarcus Russell level bust. What I'm saying is when you take a guy number 1 overall, he can't just be so. And don't forget who is now the hometown hero backup for them, who has the best job in the world now, in McCorkle Jones. If Trevor Lawrence really starts shitting himself, don't be shocked if you hear a couple of Mac Jones chants because he's from Jacksonville. So don't be surprised if he gets a couple, hey, maybe we should throw Mac and see what we got there. Nah. He's still young. Stop.
It wasn't well.
It's possible, man. It's possible.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, look, he's a decent quarterback, but Trevor Lawrence. We looked at Trevor Lawrence coming to the league as a generational guy, not just like a number 1 pick. Bryce Young, we weren't saying that about. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So that's the difference between the 2 guys, in my opinion. All right, next team here, the Indianapolis Colts. Last year went 9-8 under Minshew Mania. The over number is 8.5 wins. I don't get you number 32, man. That is, Chris. That might be your worst take. That's on level with your. What was it? Oh yeah,
Kawhi
5. Kawhi 5. Zach, remember that one?
Yeah.
Kawhi 5. I don't know which one's worse, honestly. Anyway, 8.5 wins the Colts overall number. This is kind of easy for me. I'm gonna go under only because of the fact that I don't think AR-15 is going to be healthy enough to play enough games to get them to 9 wins. So the under seems like almost, in my opinion, easy. What am I missing here?
You're not. This is the easiest money of the entire over.
Oh, really?
List. Yeah. Take the under and just start spending the money right now. AR-15, what? He's gonna miss half a season, probably get taken, go in and out of the lineup 3 to 4 times.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris. Oh, he ain't gonna get hurt this year.
I'm not gonna say that. The talent's there on the team. They have some talent. Shane Steichen is that guy. I think he is what the Philly is missing from that offense that went to the Super Bowl that year. And I think if he could turn around Jalen Hurts, he could easily turn AR-15 into a stud quarterback. The reason why people think AR-15 is so injury prone is because it wasn't just one injury. It was like he got knocked out of a game, and then he got the shoulder injury. Just anyone with a running style will also get lower body injuries as well. Like, he's a big, violent type of quarterback. So is Josh Allen. We don't really say the same thing about him. I'm going to go under because I don't think the defense is there for the team, and I think the rest of the division and the AFC is just that tough. But I wouldn't if Anthony Richardson stayed healthy, I wouldn't be shocked if they won. Like early on in the year, they were beating teams like 37-34. Like they were outscoring teams because that team was
Gardner
putting up
Minshew would come
points.
in the second half.
Because number 32 quarterback on your list.
No, I'm talking about when Richardson was still playing. Okay, not for Gardner Minshew.
He only played 3 games last year. We're talking about.
He got hurt in the 4th one. Yes,
and got hurt before halftime of the first 3 too.
And only number 32, your quarterback on your list, only took him like 10 yards from the playoff spot last year.
That's how talented that team is, which is what I'm saying. He's going from a very talented team to a team that just has Devontae Adams on offense, and that's it. You have faith in Zamir White.
I'm going to be the biggest Raider fan this year, so it means Zach could just freaking troll the shit out of you all year long.
You think Gardner Minshew's handing the ball off to Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor again? Zamir White is not that guy.
I'm just saying
that offensive line.
I'm not defending
not the same.
I'm not saying he's a top 20 guy. I'm just saying number 32 is egregious.
No,
in a league with Sam Darnold, in a league with pick it, I don't know, Daniel Jones. You're gonna tell me Gardner Minshew's number 32? What's wrong with you? What do you smoke? What are you smoking in North Carolina right now? Give me some of that, please.
I'm pretty sure actually 31 was more egregious, but I'm never gonna let go of 32 Gardner.
What was 31 again?
Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson.
It's bad, but Deshaun's been pretty fucking bad though. Let's be real.
Cleveland Deshaun is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
So think about that. Cleveland Deshaun is fucking terrible and 31st. But every team you mentioned playing against Cleveland, you're like, nah, Cleveland's got it.
That defense is that sick. That defense is on.
Myles Garrett might be the best defensive player in football.
And Stefanski's.
No. No.
I would take J.J. Watt, Micah Parsons before.
Okay. I said might. It's definitely top 5.
Yeah. Oh, definitely top 5. I think he's number 3.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, okay.
You pick the 2 smallest dudes. Like he's the same as those guys, except he's 6'6" and almost 300 pounds, doing the same thing those other guys are. His pass rush win rate and rush defense win rate is like tops in the league. That's why he won with less sacks than those guys last year, because he's just creating so much pressure and still elite against run defense. He is insane.
All right, next team here. Tennessee Titans last year, 6-11. Over under 6.5 wins. It's easy under. It's a rebuilding year for them. So whatever, under.
I agree. I'll take the under.
Look at see Will Levis next year. So he does, but
I don't think you can call it a full blown rebuild when they went out and signed Tony Pollard and they retained DeAndre Hopkins. Like this is not like this is a transitionary period with a new quarterback to see if he's got it, but I wouldn't call it a full blown rebuild. You don't go out and spend money for agency if it's a full blown rebuild.
Fair enough.
Because they weren't just selling every single player on their team. They weren't cutting high-priced veterans. They were retaining what they had and trying to build that way. They're not going full-blown.
They cut like their veteran running back, their veteran safety, veteran all-pro safety. Let me correct that.
Yeah, but Kevin Byard hasn't been the same. Like, it's not like they're cutting him in his prime.
Right. But it's the under, right?
And plus, they traded for L'Jarius Sneed, didn't they?
I think.
Yeah, like they went and got and they got Chibi.
So what you're saying is it over? Oh, by the way,
yeah, he's taking the over clearly.
No, I am.
Zach is a little advanced here by Mikey V. Surprised Zach with a bad take.
I'm not sure. I believe in Brian Callahan though. I was never impressed with his offense, even though he was never the play caller in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I'm still not sold on him, though. You get him, you get his dad, the greatest offensive line coach, one of ever, to help shore up that line for Will Levis. I don't know. I'm gonna go under, but
exactly all this bullshit for an under.
But
what are we doing?
No, because you're calling them a team that's in a rebuild and they're not a rebuilding team. They're
They
not.
are in
They're
a
not. They made
rebuild.
all the signings. Like
They are
they're
in a rebuild.
What, a retooling? I mean, they weren't good last year. So what? I mean, they're in the middle of a rebuild, I guess. So, all right, whatever. That's Tennessee Titans. All
yeah.
right,
I wouldn't shock if they went over though.
all right. Next one.